chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
With what?
Ships.
When we left Egypt, I'm talking about the Israelites. When they left Egypt, how did they leave? Did they leave on a boat? And Egypt is up here. Did they leave on a boat? No, they didn't leave on a boat, right? When Moses came down, he said, let my people go. Did they leave on a boat right here? They walked out, correct? They walked. So he said, I'm going to send you back to Egypt with ships. We got to make sense of what that means. Go ahead and give me that in Exodus 20.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which has brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Sister Robin, what did it say right now? What did he say he was taking us out of? Read it again.
Yes. I am the Lord thy God, which has brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
What did he call Egypt?
The house of.
House of, read it one more time.
Out of the house of bondage.
House of bondage.
What is a house of bondage? Or what's another word for a house of bondage?
Somewhere being trapped in.
Trapped in, stuck, can't get out. Captivity, slavery. Those are all synonyms to a house of bondage. So he said he's going to send us back into captivity or slavery. By what? Go back to, yeah.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So how did he bring us back into bondage and captivity? With what? Read again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So how did the black man and black woman get over here from the west coast of Africa?
Bring it out.
With slave ships, cargo slave ships. Look at this right here. Look at this. You see those ships right here? We were packed in like sardines. We were packed in like sardines in a sardine can, placed upon on top of each other. We were wasting on one another. Women were having babies on these ships, and they didn't give a damn. So we were sitting there in filth and swallowed. That's how we was living. And that's how we were brought over here. This is in the Bible. That's what we read it. We read in the Holy Bible right now. The Bible says that God said that if we do not keep his commandments, we were going to go into slavery. Doesn't that make the commandments important? What you mean, though? So, how should I ask this another way? If we went into slavery on slave ships for breaking God's commandments, doesn't that make the commandments important?
Maybe it does in some ways.
Again, we went into slavery on slave ships because we broke God's commandments. Are they important or not, the commandments?
Yes, they are.
They are important, right? Because we ended up like this because the commandments got broken. Look around you. We ended up like this on the bottom of society because the commandments wasn't kept. Why doesn't the Christian church teach the commandments then? Why don't they teach the commandments? Matter of fact, give me Deuteronomy 28 and verse 1. I want to show you something. This is how important the commandments are. How y'all doing?
He gonna show y'all how you American black.
Here's what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1.
So right now what we're reading, how y'all doing? Right now what we're reading is the curses and the blessings. We just read some curses to them. Now we're about to go into some blessings, okay? Read.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
So God is saying if we listen to his voice, he will what?
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments.
There go that word commandments again. Read.
Which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations.
He said he gonna do what?
Set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
On the earth. On the earth. He said he's gonna set us on high above every nation on the earth. So where is the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American man on the earth today? Are we on high? Do we run anything?
Bring it out.
Do we set any laws?
Oh.
We don't do any of those stuff, right? So are we on high right now? Are we on high?
I said, wait.
What's your nationality, sis?
You don't leave that one, okay? Huh?
What's your nationality? What's your name? Well, let me get your name first. What's your name?
You don't follow kids where they go. I told you that.
Tierra. I'm Absalom. What is your nationality? What do you put on a job application?
African American.
African American. What about you, Sister Robert? What do you put on a job application? What do you put on a job application?
African American.
African American. What's your nationality? It's African American. What about you, sis?
I don't know what it is.
So you're mixed. Well, we're gonna shut that down in a second too. So what's your father? He's African American. Okay, give me that in numbers real quick. I want to go to there, hold that, and give me that in numbers. I want to show y'all something right now. Mix. When you say you mix, that's just a code word of saying that you're not black. You're not claiming black. That's all it's saying. That's all it's saying. Because look. Let me ask you this. If I take an apple seed, right, for an apple tree, and I stick it in Japan, is it now an orange tree? No, it's not, right? It's still what? It's still going to become an apple tree. Okay. All right, let's see what the Bible says.
Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees.
Pedigrees means your lineage or your generations by what?
After their families, by the house of their fathers.
He said they declared their lineage by the house of their father. Where does the seed come that goes into the woman? What's the seed? Where does the seed come from? Where does the seed come from? There ain't no seed? How do you have that baby right there? It comes from the father. The genetics come from the father. It's just like planting a seed in an apple tree or an orange tree in the earth. The earth is an incubator, and the seed is the genetic of what it's going to become.
Bring it out.
That's what it is. So, you are of your father, not of your mother. Your mother just birthed you. So there's no such thing as mixed. Now you might have different features. You might have different features and stuff from being in your mother and whatnot, but the seed, the genetic code, you are linked to your father.
That's right.
So whatever your father is, that's what you are, sis. Got that? Understood? Now back to Deuteronomy 28, I want to get back to my point. Verse 1 again. The Bible has all the answers. We just got to be able to apply them. And you need someone to be able to teach you what is in the Bible, because you're not going to get this understanding from the Christian church. You're not. Because just a little bit that I've been showing y'all today about the maps and all, y'all haven't heard none of this before, right? Y'all never. The only thing you heard of is that Christ might be black. That's the only thing you heard. That's it. Yeah. But now we're about to go into the Bible and we're about to explain to you. We're about to explain to y'all what it is. Okay? Read what you got.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1.
How are we teaching hate, sis? That's what's crazy. You see, our people have hatred for us because that's taught. That's a taught response right there. And it wasn't taught by ourselves. It was taught by the so-called white men. They teach us to hate one another. That's what they do. We out here with the Bible, just reading the Bible, and it's so, I don't mess with y'all. But sis, we're trying to save your life. Exactly. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So he's going to set us on high above all nations of the earth. Now, I asked y'all a question. I asked y'all nationality. Y'all said African American, right? I want y'all to look at this sign over here.
Okay, we'll bring some.
Yeah. I want you to look at this sign right here. Do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself on this side?
I see Judah.
You see Judah. What about you, sis? What do you say your name was again? Tierra. Where do you see your you see Judah, right? On this side is what we got started getting called once we came from over here to over here. Once we came from the west coast of Africa, what were they calling us?
Judas.
No, they wasn't calling us Judas when we came from the west coast of Africa to America. What are they calling us? They were calling us nigga. They were calling us Negro. Yeah, I know. People don't want to say it, man, but that's what they called us, though. That was our nationality, right? And then what happens ever so often? Every so often we get reinvented, and now we're called Afro-American, or now we call African-American. How old are you, sis? You're 45. When was African-American coined? When was the name created? Do you know what year? It was 1985. Were you born in 1985? Or, you were 8 years. You're older than your nationality.
Hey, bring it out.
You're older than your nationality. Does that make any sense? See? Exactly. Why is it that our names are always being changed every so many years? Because they don't want you to know who you are. They'll keep changing it to create confusion. We don't even, I don't even want to say it. First, Isaiah 1 and 3. I still want to finish that point with Deuteronomy. So hold that for me. This is how we know who we are according to the Bible.
Isaiah chapter 1 and verse 3. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib.
So y'all know what an ox and an ass is, right? An ox and a, read again.
The ox knoweth his owner.
It's cattle, it's an animal that's working the field. So an ox knows his owner. He knows who its master is. Read.
And the ass his master's crib.
An ass is a donkey. The donkey knows where it rests its head. It knows where it sleeps. What does it say about Israel?
But Israel doth not know. My people doth not consider.
Say Israel.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.